tell me who you think they is.
They being the people that were appointed by Obama.
No, a moment ago, you used the word they. That's what they are playing or they are saying.
It's everybody associated with the process in that mix relative to what they're doing, because that's what the tweets have said, as well as that's what they're basically talking about it when the pundits are all flapping lips.
Got it. Okay. So for folks that have been waiting for this for 3.5 years, Obamagate is actually 8 years long. It's not this very narrow window of what people are seeing. All right. And you don't get 140,000 sealed indictments from an 8-week window where Flynn's being targeted for talking to a Russian. That's this is something that we're only finding out because Flynn was targeted when he was part of the Obama administration. He wanted to streamline the intelligence community, and they didn't like that. And he wanted to tell the truth about ISIS, and Obama didn't like that. So he's been PNG, or persona non grata, in D.C. for quite some time, predating the Trump administration. And Obamagate is how essentially Obama politicized everything he touched running this country. That's what I think Obamagate is. And we're going to see.
I know that's what you think Obamagate is, but you got to realize that because you may be 100% accurate, okay? Because essentially what you're saying, and it may in fact be 100% true, that all these sealed indictments are in fact Obamagate, but that's not what's playing in the current cycle, the news cycle, specifically because they don't want it to play that way.
Exactly. And so that's part of what our conversations are meant to do, is to have more enlightening information than what people would normally find from any of the channels that they'll find out there. Right? Because
now, again, what is the reason for having hundreds of thousands of sealed indictments for, in this case, over a year? Because most of them have lasted now over a year.
I am totally at a loss for that.
Yeah, and that's the problem that I've got with this whole process. We have discussed in the past, and your people, if they watch this, will have to understand that sealed indictments are a course of action relative to keeping things, if you will, specifically on a need to know, based on the fact that you have ongoing investigations that are going to be affected relative to moving forward. Okay. So this is a normal course of doing business in the judicial system. The number of sealed indictments that have never been acted on is mind-bogglingly high.
Correct.
Okay. And the problem in the process with that particular thing going on moving forward is the fact, what is everybody trying to hide? How many ongoing investigations? Sealed indictments are specifically that. You are being accused of something, the you being whoever is the actionable party in the indictment. The function at this point is that there are, the last count I had was hundreds of thousands, okay, of these things that are out there against various entities. Now, you got to realize that a sealed indictment may not be against a single party.
Yeah.
It may be against multiple parties as part of a group, organization, whatever. Okay. And it doesn't have to be against individuals. It can be against corporations. It can be any entity that technically holds status in the United States can have an indictment.
Any entity that can be legally enforced against.
Right. So, including Congress, for that matter, okay, you understand the point is that literally any legal entity from the top to the bottom of our stratus can literally be indicted for whatever, okay. The difference, unfortunately, is that the longer these indictments sit out there, the less likely they have of ever being acted on. And then the question then doubts is that if they can get enough information through a grand jury to get an indictment, where is the jurisprudence in the fact that you've actually got some, and people have to understand how a grand jury works. I don't know if we have time to go into it, but in essence, you have to convince these people that there's a preponderance of evidence, okay, that somebody did something wrong against the law. Once you do that, and it's a voting system of sorts, okay, then you can get an indictment, okay, having the brass tacks of going the overall function. The problem isn't that. The problem is that you've convinced these people based on your preponderance of evidence that in fact some wrongdoing was done by the parties and that you have actionable evidence to bring them to trial. Okay, no problem. The problem is that the longer you wait on these things and the things that you can find out, and it's the same thing having to do with the argument that was just in front of the Supreme Court by, okay, the Southern, not the Southern District of New York, by the New York judicial system. The Attorney General of New York has argued in front of the Supreme Court that the stuff that went on with, and there is precedence here, okay? Again, the same argument that is going to probably work for New York and it's probably going to not work for the Congress, meaning the fact that the tax returns are more than likely going to come out to New York because the personal attorney for the United States president, i.e. when he was not a president, admitted openly and got disbarred for saying that he helped the president break the law. Simple, okay? Now, having done that, the longer you wait on these things, the less chance you have of ever having actionable function.
Are you talking about Cohen?
Yes.
All right. So
I've
always been entertained by that, by the way, because again, when he said that he helped the president break the law, it's interesting that that's not actually what happened, and in fact, he got convicted for something else.
Well, yeah, but what I'm saying to you is he had openly admitted in his plea deals and his testimony.
He didn't openly admit, Patrick. He claimed.
I understand that. No, listen to me. But this is the difference. Okay, prime example. Case law says this. If I walk into a court and I admit to killing somebody that I didn't kill, okay, because I'm taking the rap for somebody else, and I get convicted, as far as the law is concerned, I killed the person. That's the way it works.
So let's rephrase what you just said. If you walk into a room and there's not a dead person there, and somebody else walks in and says, I helped this person kill somebody in this room, and that person isn't dead, right? There's no murder.
I would agree with you. And the difference is that part of you got to understand that part of a subpoena process is not you're going out to convict somebody. It's that you're doing
we're starting to dive down into a rabbit hole here, specifically on Michael Cohen, because that is actually worthy of another conversation between us, because he didn't plea because he broke the law with the president. He pled because he had all sorts of other shit that he was doing that he needed to be in jail for.
I'm aware. And again, I'm going to reiterate that but you got to understand that the difference is that if somebody admits to something, and it implicates somebody else.
If somebody admits to something that isn't a crime, it's still not a crime. The payoffs to Stormy Daniels, they're not illegal.
That's not up to us to decide.
But that's what essentially Cohen pled guilty to payoffs that were illegal. But they're not.
Okay, and I'm going to reiterate then if that's the case legally, then why has his defense never once come back and basically, in essence, argued that particular function?
It's a plea.
Sorry?
Because it's a plea. He took a plea. He wasn't convicted. He took a plea with the script that he was told to follow.
Yes, but he also made admissions in public as well as in court.
We're going around in circles here on this.
But this is the point I'm making to you having to do with what we were talking about. The point is that if you basically have information, any information, in any case, anywhere in the country, and you prohibit that function from occurring, anything, the point is that the Department of Justice and the judicial arm is there to do investigatory function. That's their job, period. They are to go through the crap, see what sticks and what doesn't.
Or to invent stuff to get people convicted on, is what we're seeing.
Yes, and unfortunately, the Supreme Court has upheld that that's a legal tactic that has been approved and adjudicated for the better part of 50 years.
All right, so we'll see if the standards of justice are going to prevail under the Obama administration or under the Trump administration.
Well, it's not about that. It's about the court. It has nothing to do with either one of those.
I get that, Patrick. I'm being a little vague with this. It is about the integrity of the courts, which under Obama was almost destroyed. Right.
You could say that about almost any president, honestly. Within reason.
Almost any president within the past 30 years. I agree with that. But people paying attention to the Constitution more these days gives me better hope. Anyway, Patrick, I enjoyed the conversation again. I wish I had more time for you this morning, and we'll be in touch.
See ya.
All right, take care.